Hey, Motorman here. And today we're going to talk about one of the most frequently asked questions that I get is, what do I use for my moto-vlogging? Because I guess the sound is pretty good and the picture is very good. So I'm going to go over that for you. And I've pieced this together over the past couple of years. And I got a lot of tips from other motovloggers on YouTube. But this is what my setup looks like. This, by the way, is a HJC helmet, full face helmet. I also have a modular helmet, but it lets more wind noise in, so the full face helmet works the best. And of course, you can't possibly use a half helmet. I know you see me in the parking lot using the Sear half helmet, but I can't use that when I'm vlogging because the wind would just drown it out. So this is the setup, and this is not a very expensive helmet. I think I paid 90 bucks for this on Revzilla, and it does a pretty good job. It's comfortable. I like HJC because I've tried several different helmets, and I find these to be the most comfortable for my head. It may not be for yours. And I know you could spend 700 bucks on a helmet, but I don't think there's going to make that much of a difference as far as motovlogging. There may be some difference in safety if you crash with this helmet at 100 miles an hour versus if you crash with the $700 helmet at it'll save you up to 102 miles an hour. I don't know what the differences are. Usually it's just because you get more features. But anyway, this is the setup. This is a GoPro Hero 7 camera. Getting a close-up of that camera, girl?
Yep.
And I'm using a purple Panda Mic. I'm going to show you where that's mounted in just a second. And this mount that I use here, this is all this stuff, by the way, I've gotten on Amazon. And the case that I'm using right here is a Ulanzi Vlogging case. It's about 15 bucks. And I like it because you can take the GoPro microphone adapter, just slide it in there rather than having to put the camera on the side with Velcro or the mic adapter on the side with Velcro. I think it's better this way. And maybe it adds a little bit more weight to this. And also notice this setup I have here, it sticks out kind of far, and that's because if you're not familiar with GoPro helmets, they're very good picture, they have good sound, but they're not very reliable. Sometimes you turn on the camera with these little itty-bitty tiny buttons, and that's why I wear the half glove on my right hand, because there's no way I could press this with a regular glove on. But sometimes you put the camera on or press the button and the camera actually doesn't go on. With this setup, sticking out this far, I can actually see the screen of the camera, and I can tell if the camera is on or isn't on. And of course, if this is mounted too close to the helmet, and you sit on the bike, you're going to see a lot of the ground in front of you, and you won't be able to adjust this as needed. So I like this setup here. Again, this is from Amazon, and I think this is an Akaso chin mount. It's a kit that it comes with. There's all kinds of different ways you could set this up, but it's about 13 bucks. So you really don't have to spend a fortune on this stuff. The most expensive part is the camera, the Hero 7 camera. I think I got it when they first came out. It was about 400 bucks, but I think they're down to about $300, $350 now because they've got the Hero 8, 9, and 10. The problem I find with these, they take a very good picture. They're the best as far as getting good sound out of them, but they're just not reliable. And I'm sure GoPro knows about this. There's a million people complain about it. You turn the camera on, it doesn't go on. You got to take the battery out, and then you wait 10 seconds, put the battery in, then the camera will come on. But if it's too hot outside, the camera won't go off. It's one thing after another. But it is what I do here, it's got the best sound, and that's really important when you're riding and you've got the wind noise and everything to overcome. And let me show you how I mount. Let me see if you could see this. I'm going to put a light on it. See that right there? That's the microphone, the purple Panda Mic, and I've got one of those foam things around it, and it just barely sticks out. Right now it fell out, but it just barely sticks out of the cheek pad. All the wire is wrapped inside the helmet, inside this cheek pad right here, and it comes with about probably 10 feet of wire, which of course you don't need. And also with the purple Panda Mic, you need an adapter. So I have that right over here. This is the adapter, and I've put a little wire tie around it because you don't want the adapter flopping around. If it does, you're going to get all kinds of static and it's going to create problems for you. So I wire the adapter to this mount right here. And that's another thing I want to talk about is this mount. I've tried the double-sided tape, and I know they come with, there's all kinds of curved mounts that you can purchase or that come with different kits. But I've never found one, and I've got probably 40 or 50 different kits. I've never found one that will actually fit perfectly on this rounded shape that you have on the front here. And I see some people, they mount it to the side, but like I said, I like it better this way. This setup can also be mounted on the side with another extension to get the camera out in front of you. But I like this setup right here, and I use this stuff because the two-sided tape, I guess with this little bit of weight that's on here, eventually, depending on the weather, if it gets too hot or too cold, this two-sided tape, because this mount doesn't fit perfectly the way the helmet is shaped, that it gets loose. So I got this stuff. Take a look at this. This is terrific. This is a moldable glue, and you mold it to any way that you need it so that it fits perfectly on here. And yeah, maybe you could make it a little cleaner looking, but I didn't care about the looks of it. But it takes about 8 or 10 hours to dry, and it never really dries completely, so that if you wanted to take this off, you could just twist it and get it off and peel that glue off. But to me, that works the best. So we got the purple Panda microphone, and that's about 25 bucks. I've seen it as cheap as $20 on Amazon, but I think I paid around 25 bucks for it. I think it gives very good sound quality. And by the way, the reason I'm using this mic, this is a Sennheiser microphone, is because generally I use the GoPro camera with one of these mics plugged into it, or a Rode mic, but because you have to see it, so it's right on here, so we have to use another camera. So that's a DJ cam, I think it's called, which is okay as far as picture. It's got stabilization on it. I mean, it's only about 100 bucks, but the sound quality, which you're probably going to hear on this, and maybe you'll even complain about it, the sound quality of the mic in that camera is not very good. There is a microphone attachment for it, but again, even with that, the mic, and it's the only microphone that will work, SJ cam, that's what it's called, and the only mic that works with that is the SJ cam mic, and it's no better than the mic that's on the camera. So I've tried using that setup, doing this with it, and yeah, you just hear a lot of wind noise. There's some distortion on the voice, so it just doesn't work very well. So we've got the glue that I use for it. We got the chin mount from Akaso. All this stuff, like I said, is on Amazon. Purple Panda mic, and this is the really neat stuff. You could use it for many purposes, but it works perfect for this. But I also see now that there's, well, I was looking at Amazon today for some of this stuff, so I remember where I got it from and about what it cost. There's another mount that I see that they have now that's got 3 or 4 pieces that you can actually push to the side of the helmet. And I may try one of those. It was only like 18 or 20 bucks. But this has been working well for me for over a year, so I don't think I'll change it. Now, as far as wind noise, I have another helmet. It's a built helmet, and it's more expensive because it's got a built-in Sena, but the wind noise is terrible on that in my ears, and also you hear it on the camera, and that's despite the fact that it has a piece that goes over here that's supposed to block wind from coming up, but this actually, without that piece, it works just fine. I'll show you a couple of clips using this helmet with a motorcycle without a windshield, and also one with the windshield. And the seat is the way to go. It is superior to the stock seat. Adjustments I've made on this bike is because it's got the mini apes. I loosened the 4 bolts here, pulled the handlebars back a bit, so distance from the top of the tires to the bottom of the tire is the same, but because you've got a lower profile tire, there'll be a slight difference in ride comfort. And whenever I make these videos that are not related to riding tips, I think what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to throw in a tip at the end of the video, so make sure you watch it. It's going to be on U-turns, and that seems to be the biggest question I get, is about people asking, how do you make the U-turn so tight, and what's the technique? So I'm going to go over that, and I also want to remind you that we have these 2 videos. This is everything you need to know about riding a motorcycle skillfully. That's the Ride Like a Pro Experience video, available on DVD or download. and surviving the mean streets. On this video, we take you out on the street and we show you why you did particular exercises you'll find here. And we also have this on USB. So I like the USB best because you've always got a hard copy and you can plug this right into your phone. So you go out to practice, you watch a particular exercise, you could listen to me talking about it. And we also, of course, give you a practice guide that shows you how to set up everything with these videos. $34.95. It's the best money you're ever going to spend on your motorcycle. So that's it for now. This is my vlogging setup. And like I said, I've used it for a couple of years without a problem. And make sure you watch this tip on U-turns. I think you'll enjoy it. So this is a pretty good grade here. You know, we live in Florida, so we don't have mountains to go, but it's a pretty good grade here. So I'm going to show you the techniques are the same. I'm going to do it in both directions, up the hill, down the hill. So watch closely. And I'm going to film it also from my point of view with these camera glasses. Now this street that I'm doing this on is 18 feet wide. I implore you not to practice on an 18-foot wide street. It's best to practice out on an empty parking lot where you have no barriers. Even a 24-foot wide street, if you've got barriers such as grass on the side where your front tire could go into that grass, I'm telling you, if you do that, it's probably going to slip out and you're going to fall down. So use some common sense. Practice in an area where there's nothing in your way, and don't try it going uphill or downhill until you're good at doing it on flat ground. That means you're going to have to learn how to use that clutch and throttle, the rear brake, and your head and eyes.